Explaining Family Guy's bad taste.
I would say Family Guy.
With great
bad taste.
I like that.
There's some garbage they put out, but I'm down.
I like that because this is exactly we know ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we know ball. With this one is something that we're gonna be able to touch on. All right, so what's the name? Explaining Family Guy's bad taste. Let's look at the comments. I like doing that before we start. Bug Tug, Peter, you went too far. I'm sorry, Tug. I'll do better. We're like Family Guys. Okay. There's nothing called Jester's privilege. It references the fact that Jester's is the only word in the court. Only guy in the court allowed to shit talk the king without losing his head because he's funny about it. Is Family Guy bad now? Do people consider Family Guy like bad?
I think it's like old balls.
It's been overdone pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's watch it.
Power comes great responsibility, and you have the power to sign up for extratug.com for exclusive perks and videos. Check it out. Am I still upside down, Chris? Please put me back up normal. My head's getting big.
I want to start this out by saying I love Family Guy. And I know that's kind of a bummer to hear, but I'm not some dope who thinks they're doing something amazing. Family Guy is lowbrow, bottom of the barrel, low-hanging fruit type comedy. And I just like it. I like it. You just want popcorn instead of filet mignon sometimes. And honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I enjoy it in a mixed company because one, it's for boneheads, it's for dum-dums, which I am one.
I feel like South Park gets all its flowers because they play into the what is happening, but what's going to be the future of what's happening, instead of what Family Guy does is just make fun of what's currently happening.
True. And then also, like, South Park becomes like a hyperbole of the scenario that they're trying to take like an angle for. Like recently, what was it? Was it Trump and Satan were in a relationship?
Yeah.
And that's to say, he's fucking evil. It's like, well, and what? It's like, and he's having Satan's baby. Like he's that deeply invested with Satan that he's having his baby and he's keeping it. Like but Family Guy is like, well, this cool. There's example A. Like let's say Trump is evil. Right, there you go. I haven't heard a take that hot since the time whatever the unrelated point, and then they do a cutaway and it's done. Then they just keep going with whatever plot they have written.
Yeah.
The current affairs becomes like a quick gag, and it's like, okay, cool, back to this.
Yeah, but probably like the same way. Yeah, like even The Simpsons does that. They do more predictions on what's gonna happen instead of, or like what's the unforeseeable future of how these things are happening that's happening around us. So they'll like implement the stuff that's already happening and then bring it to like an extreme in the future, and then they end up being right. But Family Guy's getting hate because they're just making fun of whatever. I think both of them fit in the universe. Why are we making fun of Family Guy? Family Guy's the best.
And two, it has offended pretty much everyone at this point. But when creator Seth MacFarlane was asked how Family Guy managed to survive in an era where viewers seemed primed for outrage, he basically just rejected the premise of the question. Instead, referencing comedian Anthony Jeselnik, who in turn was referencing artist Andy Warhol, MacFarlane answered, "Comedy is the art of getting away with it," which is what every open micer who says the N-word is also hoping to be the case, but they're just shitty comedians. And to me, that's the secret sauce of the show Family Guy. There is no agenda, there is almost never a meaning. It's just fantastic comedy writers making you laugh at the most outrageous things they can think of. And for the most part, that has worked. Family Guy has been getting away with it since 1999. The show's success doesn't come from biting social commentary or enlightening subtext, it's just straight up funny. But sometimes, when you stop to think about what you actually just laughed at, you come to wonder, is a scene where Walt Disney forces Minnie Mouse to unrobe in front of him so he can write it and make a little sketch of her, is that actually funny? So that's the question. Tug, we're jumping into the vile world.
I think that's fucking funny. I think that's funny.
Probably one of their top 10, to be honest.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's hilarious.
Does it play into any narrative? No. Does everything have to play into a narrative? Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, some shit can just be random. You don't have to like make it real just because it's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting like this is really happening? Like, this is just in an alternate universe by itself, and you're choosing to stuff it into yours.
To the Peter copter.
Yeah, what the fucking theater police over here, bro.
Of Seth MacFarlane and his cute little glasses. He used to wear glasses. He was adorable. Seth MacFarlane was one of those weirdo kids who knew exactly what he wanted to do with his life. While children normally have stupid ideas about what they want to be when they grow up, like astronaut or movie star, dumbasses, MacFarlane was obsessed with animation and knew it was what he wanted to do with his life. Of course, a lot of kids like to sit and doodle, but Seth MacFarlane took the doodling a little bit more seriously than the other kids. At the age of 5, he was already making flip books, and by the time he was 9, he was publishing a weekly comic strip for his local paper, the Kent Good Times Dispatch. Now that sounds like a terrible newspaper, the fact that they needed a child to do comic strips for them, but it was probably a cute thing, I would assume. MacFarlane was paid $5 a pop for his weekly Walter Crouton comic strip, and almost immediately, the comic strip gave him his...
Wow, bro, W Mans. Dude I did not know that about him.
I didn't know that. I thought his early work was a Family Guy prototype.
Yeah, I mean...
I didn't realize he was doing...
I never really thought about, like, how he came to be, you know, into that Family Guy role. But yeah, fucking flip books at 9 years old, posted onto the fucking newspaper. W, bro, getting out there.
First taste of controversy, which he would then taste a bunch of times when he starts Family Guy. The Walter Crouton strip in question featured a kid kneeling at the altar taking his first communion, and the caption said, "Can I have fries with that?" Seth MacFarlane, how dare you? Okay, first of all, that's pretty funny for a kid. That's smart. I think that's...
Oh, tone it down, Seth. Tone it down.
Hey, that's his 9-year-old work, too.
Yeah.
You know his, like, that. You know he was saying jokes by himself that he could never put on a comic book strip. This was his good work.
Yeah, he had to filter himself out.
At 9 years old, this dude had probably blowjob jokes, fucking already jam-packed.
Fun. But a local priest was offended and actually wrote MacFarlane an angry letter that said, "Shame on you for insulting the Almighty God and those who love him." God, can you you suck. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking? How does that insult God? When talking to Howard Stern about his first piece of hate mail decades later, MacFarlane said, "Believe it or not, I actually don't set out to piss people off." But from an early age, there was an edge to Seth MacFarlane's comedy. But the thing is, he's not trying to be a troll, I don't think. He's just trying to be funny. And for the most part, people have always responded to his humor. Even a misogynistically tinged Walter Crouton strip where the main character accidentally asks an ugly woman out on a date won him 3rd place in an under 11 cartoon competition. Now, it is neither here nor there for me to comment on that because I've laughed at a lot of misogynistic shit, but it is crazy that there is cartoon competitions for children. Was that only a thing in the 80s and 90s? Please, let's bring that back.
Where's all the fucking cartoon competitions at?
For Family Guy?
No, in general, for the community.
Oh, you won't do that no more. That's old balls here.
What? Like, what are we doing? My kid draws all the fucking time. Why are we not fucking doing why is it only basketball, football, baseball that these kids can compete in? Yeah, or fucking Call of Duty.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, let's bring back the fucking drawing competitions, bro. I got $50 best fucking drawing of, you know.
I'll match it. We got $100 for best drawing.
Yeah, put that shit in the newspaper.
There you go. Smoke that.
MacFarlane's laser focus on his career aspirations sent him to the Rhode Island School of Design, where he majored in animation, also known as RISD, and a lot of famous animation people come out of there. Like most animators, his white whale was working for Disney, though that all changed when he saw The Simpsons. For those of you that don't know, when The Simpsons came out, that shit changed everything. Like nowadays we look at The Simpsons and it's this tired trope of just the yellow family, and we've seen them a million times and they're everywhere. But when that came out, like a dysfunctional family actually doing some, like an alcoholic father, like that was crazy at the time, especially for animation. His mind was blown, and the young animator marveled how in every way, quote, writing-wise, production-wise, timing-wise, and animation-wise, The Simpsons rewrote the rulebook. Now he felt inspired to tackle more adult themes in his animation, which brought us to The Life of Larry. This show was basically the prototype for Family Guy. There was a slob husband.
Is this what you saw?
Yes.
The slob husband fucking prototype?
Yep.
The patient wife, and even a talking dog. It's not a Seth MacFarlane idea without something talking that shouldn't talk. His professor was impressed and submitted the film to Hanna-Barbera, who gave MacFarlane a job working at Cartoon Network. MacFarlane worked on several classic 90s cartoons like Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, and Johnny Bravo. And even though this was absolutely the fulfillment of his childhood dream, becoming an animator for Cartoon Network, his sights were set a little bit higher. In Seth MacFarlane's own words, "I really wanted to hear cartoon characters swear." He managed to get a pitch meeting with Fox, and the timing could not have been better. The Simpsons, King of the Hill, and South...
Yeah, there's something about fucking hearing Peter say, "Son of a bitch." Like, that's just funny as fuck by itself. Just by itself, bro. Just Peter in his normal outfit in a blank room. A slow pan zoom to his face. And then he just says, oh, son of a bitch. That's it. Wrap it up, baby. You got me laughing.
Park were all opening the door for edgier adult animation. Fox gave McFarlane $50,000 to produce a pilot, and he pulled from his Life of Larry universe to create Family Guy. Within the first minute of the pilot, the show already announces what it's gonna be, with a cutaway gag that makes fun of retro pop culture with a violent take on the Brady Bunch, and then ends with a bit about the Aunt Jemima syrup brand mascot that turns into a joke about religion by calling her Jemima Witness. So, right out the gate, just bam, bam, bam. That's Seth MacFarlane, baby. We're making fun of everything. And Fox loved it, dude. They were all about it. And at first, they wanted to make it like a short on Mad TV, like a short animation on Mad TV. Mad TV was a big show. It was like SNL or Your Cousin. Some people think it was better. This is not about Mad TV. And that was also echoing the way that The Simpsons started as a short on The Tracy Ullman Show. But Family Guy was too costly to produce for Mad TV, so Fox greenlit the show for its own primetime slot. Now, at this point in Seth MacFarlane's career, green lights. Just bang, bang, bang. It's just all open doors. From age 9 onward, cruising through the animation industry. I mean, consider this. Family Guy wasn't just like a show that they were like, I don't know, quietly roll it out on midnight or something. Fox debuted Family Guy after the Super Bowl. Why are they giving him that slot? Which, if you didn't know, is the consistently most watched piece of television every year, which is the Super Bowl, and whatever comes after it, people are gonna leave the TV on. That meant that the first episode of Family Guy reached 22 million viewers. And after its first short season, Fox ordered another 21 episodes for a second season. And they did this even though the show was already generating.
You okay? Yeah. Need some help? Give me pause. 2 seconds. Daddy duty, baby. All right, let's go.
A ton of controversy. In fact, a priest, who also happened to be the headmaster of the private high school MacFarlane attended, got lots of press with a letter-writing campaign targeting advertisers, urging them to boycott the show. But the priest claimed that the show was anti-Semitic, racist, and sexist. But Fox defended it, saying it was satirizing political correctness, which is one.
What good comedy is it, really? I mean,
yeah,
let's be honest.
Supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be, bro. I knew we were fucked when everybody started getting mad at Tony Hinchcliffe for making a joke about Puerto Rico, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, are we not secure enough in ourselves by ourselves that we can't handle a fucking garbage joke about Puerto Rico?
I believe it was in reference to there being a lack of infrastructure for garbage on the island.
Yeah. Hey, let's fix that. But also, the island's beautiful, and we all know that. So why do we give a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm down to throw a roll of paper towels at them.
Exactly. Well, who wouldn't? That is fucked up, actually.
Kobe, no, what? That's where we're drawing the line.
Yeah, that joke was cool. Paper towels been thrown at us. That's not cool. We're gonna move on from that one.
Okay, all right, cancel Big Otis.
Way to look at it. But the show is also anti-Semitic, racist.
No. Nobody should be getting mad over that either, honestly. He's obviously an idiot. You should expect things to come from an idiot that are dumb.
Yeah.
Smart in his own way, too, though. But we're not talking about Donald Trump.
We're going against the status quo. Everyone else talks about him. We're not gonna.
No, we're good right now. We're talking about Family Guy right now.
Yes.
Despite their defense of the show, it felt like they really didn't know what they wanted to do with it. They started moving its time slots around in the second season, forcing it to compete with shows like Friends and Survivor. And as a result,
viewership bro. Man, sometimes I feel like getting back into Survivor just for the fucking feel. It's not. Me and my girl watched like a season of it, of one of the new ones. I would say like a year, maybe 2 years ago. And we got into it.
Are you on Netflix?
It's not on Netflix. It's on something else. I think it's on like.
But are you on Netflix?
Yeah.
Watch Alone.
Yeah, my girl's watching that. I've been playing a lot of games here lately, but she's been watching that. She says she likes it. She's weird, bro. She's not watching Love Island. She's watching that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's what she watches. Yeah, I should watch it. I do like Survivor.
Tanked, and Fox canceled it. Did you know that Family Guy was canceled? Gone forever. Never saw it again. Then, in a last-minute decision, they renewed it for a doomed third season. Finally, after getting even worse ratings than its third season, Fox pulled the plug on Family Guy in 2002. So that sucks, and after its initial failure, Fox had a hard time selling the show to other networks, and eventually, Cartoon Network acquired them. In the words of the Fox television president, basically for free. Even though this appeared to be a major blow to MacFarlane, it was actually a match made in heaven. While on network TV, Family Guy struggled to find its audience, but Adult Swim, huge fan of Adult Swim. Adult Swim's a huge fan of this show. You know what I'm saying? I made the whole video about them. I talked about them all the time. Adult Swim saves shows. Adult Swim just so happened to have a built-in demographic that the show appealed to, 18 to 34-year-olds. And the results were immediate, with the show spearheading a 239% increase in ratings during the time slot. It was even beating shows like the David Letterman and Jay Leno. It was beating both of those, which is insane. You don't beat late night, at least not at this time in history. And then there were the DVD sales. In the early 2000s, it was still a pretty novel concept to
I had a DVD.
Yep.
I
DVDs
had
that did it.
DVDs of Family Guy seasons, bro. And them bitches was playing. I should have been paying a subscription for how much I was playing those.
Yeah, the Family Guy DVDs is what caused the resurgence after it got canceled. 100%.
Yeah, bro. It was. I played the game. Yeah. It's crazy to hear that it got actually canceled. I didn't know it got canceled.
I think like twice, but yeah, that season 2 was the first like big one.
get a TV show on DVD, but the sale of Family Guy DVDs showed just how popular the idea could be, and it sold nearly 400,000 copies in its first month. And it would go on to sell over 2 million copies overall, which made it the best-selling TV show on a DVD ever. Of course, at this point, the show was back on Fox's radar, and they struck a new deal with MacFarlane, making Family Guy an anomaly. A show being resurrected into a primetime slot by the same network that canceled it. Which is why if you ever watch a Family Guy episode, they often talk so much shit about Fox because they're like, you acting like crawling back to me when people realized how good this show was. You screwed me in the first place, putting me up against Survivor. Put me against Boston Rob. What am I supposed to do with that? To the credit of MacFarlane and the rest of the writers, Family Guy didn't try to play it safe when they came back to network TV. Instead, the season 4 debut starts with Peter listing all 29 shows that were canceled by Fox between Family Guy's own cancellation and the revival. So it was a big middle finger, and then they did not pull back. The rest of the episode is sick. Talking about Mel Gibson and the Passion of the Christ. If you don't know, there was a lot of anti-Semitism involved in that. Never once feeling that they were walking on eggshells. They never pussyfooted this. They went right into the gate. With that, they were back, and in a pretty big up way. The third episode features a storyline where Quagmire is celebrated for giving a woman CPR and saving her life, even though what he was trying to do was while she was unconscious. Chris, bleep whatever you think you need to bleep with what I just said. Which, to be fair, is a funny situation for a shitty character to be in. I could see this happening in, I don't know, Always Sunny, but it does make me feel bad for laughing about it. And then there's the episode, P-Tarded? Can I say that? Someone's gonna get mad at me. I'm just reading shit, all right? In this episode, Peter becomes insufferable after winning a game of Trivial Pursuit. So Brian makes him apply for a MacArthur Genius Grant. When he gets the results back, it is shown that he has
because he's so smart. He's walking around acting like he's the smartest guy ever. And
what
Brian, I already
truck?
know the comedy, dude. I don't even have to remember the episode. I know the cadence. I know how they're talking in the episode.
They switched Peter's cars with Children's Trivial Pursuit, and he wound up winning with Peter. What color is a fire truck? And he goes, fire truck. Is it red?
That's funny, bro.
Immediately puts himself on a pedestal.
And then he pulls the whole, well, if you don't think I'm so smart, then I'd be in the call with Brian.
He flings flying grease onto Lo. She's put in the hospital, and because he's like legally retarded, or it might have been the Cleveland's family. Well, they stay in the neighborhood while Peter has to get his shit together. It's just him and Brian. That's whenever Brian really has like his told you so, you're not so fucking smart.
So what let me see what he says, because I'm starting to remember this episode now.
Yep.
Intellectual, he's mentally disabled, we'll say. Then he uses this as an excuse to get away with f***ed up behavior for the rest of the episode. An entire song had to be removed from the show because it uses the R word way too many times, but somehow P-Tarded is one of the best rated Family Guy episodes on the season of IMDb. Because, well, to my original point, it's funny. You can get away with anything if it's funny.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Or maybe you can't. I don't know. I mean, to be clear, not everyone likes Family Guy humor. A lot of people get really pissed about it, obviously. In fact, they're managing to piss off nearly everyone since 1999. Which I know is, in 1999, that was like, we're gonna screw moms, the devil worshippers. Like, it was all fun and games to piss people off. I find that kind of attitude really annoying. That's what South Park was for like the first 2 seasons, and I find it unwatchable. But like, that was the attitude. Of course, some of the groups are predictable. Basically, any family-focused conservative group would clutch their pearls at anything remotely fun, but they even managed to beef with some of their fellow edgy adult cartoon creators. So I'd like to break down these feuds in a little segment I like to call Family Guy versus Everyone. I don't like that. That doesn't sound good. I'm too lazy to rewrite it. Let's move. The first beef comes courtesy of the Parents Television Council, a conservative media advocacy group. Of course, it's a group like this one that has been up Family Guy's ass since day one. It was founded by conservative political activist L. Brent Boswell.
He looks like a Family Guy character.
He gets no puss.
No, he looks like a Family Guy character, bro. He looked like he hopped straight out of the character.
He does in real life.
He looked like they drew him. He got pissed off at one of the jokes. He came out of the show, became a real person, and started running for seats of Congress to get Family Guy pulled off.
It's like, I can't beat Peter Griffin, but I can beat Seth MacFarlane, and became real life.
Yeah, he's ugly.
A third. With a name that douchey, you know he's gotta be a piece of shit. And this doucher would eventually be named the US ambassador to South Africa by Donald Trump, which is kind of crazy when you consider that he was actively opposed to anti-apartheid groups in South Africa in 1980s. Oh, and in 2013, he complained on Twitter that the mainstream media mythologizes Nelson Mandela. So why is he the guy talking to South Africans? Anyway, the PTC complained a lot about Family Guy, and I mean a lot. For most of the early 2000s, the complaints they filed with the FCC were ignored. But undeterred, they used their website to post blogs about Family Guy's worst offenses and call out advertisers for supporting them. But to be completely fair, some of the things they were calling Family Guy out for at the time weren't completely unjustified. Like in 2013, they posted a blog about the way the show was running ads for Emmy Awards season. And I actually didn't know some of this stuff. Like in 2009, their For Your Consideration Emmy showed Stewie yelling, "Indians and Hispanics don't live in Scranton," which, I don't know, means, it just feels like a weird attack on The Office. What the that's crazy. And in 2011, their ad said, that's "You hilarious. Have to vote for us. We did a Holocaust episode." And I get that, like, the whole thing, it's like a award bait where you make, like, a Holocaust movie or something. But, you know, so these, a little...
Yeah, make a Holocaust movie completely making fun of the whole Holocaust and then be like, "You have to vote for us. We literally gave you guys recognition." That is so funny. Because you know they're being funny. They're obviously being like, I mean, obviously we're not going to win. But it's like such a funny ad to be pulling.
Yeah, because you got like Schindler's List and all these other like Holocaust glorifying. They're like, fuck it, we can do that. We can't make a movie, we can make a joke. That's what we do.
And they know they're not going to win. It's just like everybody thinks that they're being serious, I feel like.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're the dumbest people in the world to be talking about it. We're like, duh, guys, why are you not getting it? You guys aren't getting the joke, dumbasses.
No. You see it. The joke is...
Guys, sit down. You're being ridiculous. This happened in like 2002.
You're gonna miss a couple times, and they missed on these, it's fine. And I think it's worth noting here that in 2010, McFarlane had stopped writing for Family Guy to create American Dad. But the new writers actually redeemed themselves in 2013 when their Emmy ad referenced the show HBO's Girls, the one where Adam Driver, spalooges on a young lady's chest. The Family Guy ad had its male characters dressed as girls' characters with a caption reading, "Here's a load of comedy to shoot on your chest." And damn it, that's funny to me. I am a child. But you know who else would have hated that Emmy ad? The guys over at South Park. They don't with Family Guy, not one bit. On paper, you would imagine that creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone would have a lot in common with Seth MacFarlane. But when you think about it, both of these shows made their bones by eviscerating cultural people.
And this just happens in every industry, bro. Like, instead of being two great shows and working together to be hilarious, nah, let's just hate each other. We're doing the exact same fucking thing in our own styles, in our own respect. We have no reason to hate each other. Our audience loves the both of us. They're not choosing one or the other.
Yeah, but I wish death to you.
But I can't believe you exist.
I can't believe the audacity.
You know this is my thing.
I was doing it 9 months before you.
It's like, bro. And Cleveland show needs a fucking rerun, bro. That was hilarious.
Bro, bring it back. Put some respect on my boy Cleveland's name.
Yeah, and they need a new video game, bro.
I dare say, let's combine the two. Let's make a Cleveland video game. Or is that too much? Am I asking too much right now?
I don't think so.
Is it worth recreating the entire wheel for a Cleveland show video game?
I don't think so.
Activision, make it happen.
Celebrities and cultural icons, they did the same thing. Which is crazy since both shows actually made their creators celebrities and cultural icons, so it actually tracks that they kind of hated each other. Or at least the guys from South Park hated Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane. I don't think Seth MacFarlane gave a shit about them. Seth MacFarlane told Rolling Stone that he thought their episode making fun of Family Guy was funny. And just for reference, it's not like they were like, Family Guy sucks. They made, I think, a two-parter about how much they hate Family Guy and how lazy the writing is. In the episode, South Park depicts Family Guy's writers as manatees who write each script by picking random balls with words written on them from an underwater pile. But in Seth MacFarlane's eyes, that's funny, and that always wins, just thinking something's funny. But he admitted that he, quote, didn't understand the personal venom that they spew into the press about the show and about me. Parker was quoted saying in a South Park DVD commentary, "We have seen Family Guy and we do hate it. We just don't respect it in terms of writing. We hate gags." They also said that the writers of Family Guy are lazy and that they should work harder. And kinda. I don't blame them for that. I do get mad sometimes when like Family Guy explains a joke to me, or they have to set up every commercial break. Like I get it. They're correct. And I love South Park, but that kind of talk does seem a little boomerish. I don't know. But apparently, the day after the episode making fun of Family Guy aired, they got phone calls from King of the Hill and flowers from The Simpsons saying that they were doing God's work. So yeah, even The Simpsons do not with Family Guy. Though that does feel a little bit like the pot calling the kettle black, but also the kettle might have stolen from the pot. So this is sort of like when you get into a fight with your dad and then your mom basically calls you out for both being the exact same. So The Simpsons fired first in the feud, using a quick visual gag in an episode that basically called Family Guy plagiarists. Then Family Guy nuclear in their response. Okay, this one's not, I never understood why they did this. It's not funny. They tried to air a scene where Quagmire sexually assaults Marge and then goes on a rampage and murders everyone in the Simpsons house. Where's the haha in that? Obviously, Fox said you can't air this, but McFarlane never really seemed to understand why. On the DVD commentary for the episode with the deleted scene, McFarlane complains that the censorship was preferential treatment towards The Simpsons from Fox. But I don't know. I feel like censoring that scene was pretty obvious to me, but you've never done anything dark like that. You obviously were a little pissed off. I know Family Guy gets dark, but there's no joke there. That's just murder of children. Like, what?
Sometimes that's funny. Am I crazy?
If fictional children, I feel like it's fair game enough.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. I get it, but there is beef there, and everybody knows there's beef there. There's some kind of context to it. I think that's funny.
In no sense was the joke made to kill children. It wasn't killing a real life child. It wasn't supposed to personify a real life child. It wasn't supposed to personify a real life act of killing a child. As South Park turns around and has the school shooting season, that was in itself fucking hilarious. They classified everything as a school shooting. No, it killed.
But I will say it is a slippery slope.
Yeah, killed a fictitious character that happened to be a child.
It's a slippery slope. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah,
because they weren't trying to make a joke either. I think he literally did just kill everybody in the family and raped Marge.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. It was just a gag. There was no context for this scene. Once Quagmire starts shooting the family, you might laugh because you can't...
Yeah, you respond by being funnier.
...believe what you're seeing, but it's hard to argue that it's funny. It's shocking, sure, but there's so much you can get out of a shock laugh. So didn't Family Guy go too far? Maybe, in some spots, yes. I'm just going to talk about all the times Family Guy went too hard. Season 2 of If I'm Dying, I'm Lying features a scene where Peter explains to Chris that he's gotten in trouble with his appetite in the past, and then we cut to a black and white scene of the Gestapo breaking down the door of a house, and in the attic is Anne Frank hiding from the Nazis with her family. They all hear a crunch, they all turn to the corner, and Peter is eating potato chips, and he tries to eat them slowly. So making fun of Holocaust victims, maybe not great. We'll keep moving. In the season 7, episode 9, The Juices live.
Bro, that's funny as fuck.
No, that's a banger.
That is such a good shot, bro. Sorry. I can hear the crunches right now vividly in my ear.
There's a cut scene where we see Lois crying over the grave that says Peter Griffin Jr. So it's actually Family Guy lore that there were 4 children at one point. Peter is there consoling her and he says, "I'm sorry, Lois. I thought if I shook him enough he'd stop crying. I was kind of right." Martial Terms of Endearment, Season 8, Episode 21, had a super controversial one. Really got in a lot of trouble for this. The premise is that Lois is serving as a surrogate mother for a couple, but then they die in a car accident. So now Lois has a situation where she either has the baby or has an abortion for the couple who's dead. Who could write something like this? The episode caused a lot of outrage when it first aired, but I actually think it was a pretty clever way of talking about what is somehow still a touchy issue. So it's not really an issue in my book, but what the is that scenario? But what do you think?
Bro, because that's literally a fucking great play on how abortion still needs to be a thing. Yeah. Obviously that's not going to happen, but it could happen. It probably has happened.
The pretext at which a pregnancy can happen can change, so why does the result have to remain the same?
Yeah, right. Fuck.
And they did it in a very unconventional sort of way. I mean, that's
creative. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I know how they're acting.
Do you feel stupid for watching Family Guy? Do you feel embarrassed as a liberal to watch Family Guy? I don't know, because they toe the line pretty well, because they are very liberal, but then they do some very non-liberal shit. I'm talking to my libs over here. Conservatives, I'm sure they don't give a but the libs, I want to know from the libs. Like, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Saturday, sometimes Wednesday, and check out Extra Tug. $4 a month, you get a new video every week, and it's always super raunchy and fun and crazy, and also you get your name at the end of the video. That's crazy. You get to support me. Who knew? Everything's purple over there. Check it out. I just blacked out. I'll talk to you guys later.
Nice.